Why is everything squeaky? My chair? Chair is squeaky. This is squeaky. That drives me crazy. That must drive you nuts. Sitting down here tonight and got the ball game on. Blue Jays are winning by 2. And yeah, testing. How's everybody doing? I spent the day waiting for the verdict to come out with the Amber Heard and Johnny Depp. And I feel like such a loser watching this. You know what I did? I come down here. I'm like, oh my God, in an hour. The verdict is coming in an hour. We're going to find out who won or who lost. And I come down here and I record my reaction for like an hour. And at the end of it, I realize nobody in their right mind is going to want to watch me watching the verdict.
Due to circumstances surrounding the publication of the statement, it conveyed a defamatory implication to someone who saw it other than Mr. Depp. Answer, yes. Do you find that Mr. Depp has proven, by clear and convincing evidence, that Ms. Heard acted with actual malice? Answer, yes. Answer, yes.
So I wasted valuable time. And really, what's there to say about it? I'm not really going to say anything. Do you even want to hear it? Do you, like, why would you want me to even talk about it? I didn't want anybody to win. They threw each other around. I didn't want anybody to win. But I didn't want Johnny Depp to lose, if that makes sense. And I'm glad that he is now going to resurrect his career. And it's deserved. I think it's deserved. And she's done. She's done. And that makes me feel a little sad for her. I'm not about canceling. I don't want to see anybody get fired from the job. And I don't like seeing people being canceled. So I feel a little bit for her that she's done. Doesn't make me feel good. It shouldn't make you feel good either. There's obviously something wrong with her up top. But I said it in the video. Wouldn't it be gangster if Johnny Depp turned around and said, because Johnny Depp won $13 million, by the way, if you don't know. He had 3 counts. They all charged Amber Heard with the 3 counts, the jury. They didn't believe a word that Amber Heard said. They didn't believe any of it. Amber Heard gets $2 million. Johnny Depp gets $15 million. So actually, Johnny Depp actually gets $13 million in total. And be gangster if Johnny Depp said, keep it. I don't want your money. Which is the point of it. I had to, after 6 years, I finally got to tell my story. And I really think that's what it was all about. I don't know. Or take the money and donate it to the charity that she pledged to. You know what I mean? That his stock would go through the roof if he did that. He would make millions in the long run by saying, Amber, you keep your money. Okay, I gotta tell you about this. You see this? I got this today from the woman, okay? She got this for me. I just spent $1,100 on her. I swear to God, it's $1,100. And she gives me my Father's Day gift early. Bobblehead. She got it designed. She thinks it kind of looks like me. Doesn't look anything like me. And when she gives it to me, she goes, I always wanted to get you a bobblehead because that's how you talk. You're like, when you talk, your head just bobbles around. Where's the shampoo? Did you not buy shampoo today? That's what she said. Stupid. My head is not that big. My body's that small, though. We're going to take a couple of calls today. And I'm going to dig into something kind of hot. You know, I'm always behind because I have to think about things. And you know what I'm going to be talking about with the title. But I'm going to show a video clip. And yeah, we're going to take a couple of calls too from some viewers. But I just want to talk about something really boring for you guys, but really interesting for me. And I don't know if I should, because it's going to come out wrong. It's going to make as though that I'm looking forward to a recession. But do you know fortunes are made, guys, in recessions? And do you know how many times I've missed out on it? And don't believe a word I'm saying, okay? Don't believe a word. This is what I'm going to do. I'm not telling you to do it. But I'm not going to miss out on the next year's recession because there's going to be one. The market is going to be destroyed. It's going to absolutely crash. And I'm going to make a fortune from it because I missed out in 01. I missed out in 08, 07, whatever that year was. I kind of hit it in 2020 a little bit, like when there was a big dip because of COVID. I'm still riding that out, but I'll probably lose it all. But I'm going to be ready. I'm going to be ready with a loan and from the bank. Have you got, okay, think about this. Housing prices are through the roof, right? They're going down. They're going to be destroyed. Interest rates are going to go through the roof. Well, they already have. And that's going to continue till the end of the year. I'm going to get somebody in and I'm going to get a home, what do you call it? Line of credit through your home, your homeowner's line of credit. Maybe I don't use it, but I'm going to. But I want somebody to value my house now because I know the value of my house is good chance between 20 to 40% a year from now less. Probably $250,000 less. Could be. So if I get somebody to come in now to assess my home, it's going to be way more now than it would be a year from now. So I'm going to have more money to buy stocks when they hit rock bottom. And I'm going to buy good stocks. I'm going to buy good businesses, I hope. And I'm not going to make the mistake that I made in 2001. In 2001, I was a kid. Just a punk. Yeah, it was 2000 or 2001. It was when the .com was going crazy. I bought ELE. I don't even know what that is. I didn't even know what I was buying. Everybody was buying anything that said .com. I bought Nortel Networks for over $100. I put $5,000 in. I put $5,000 in. It went down to zero. I lost all my money. And you know what's something? I didn't even really know what Nortel was. I looked at Apple. Apple was dirt cheap. And they came out with this, and I'm probably going to say this wrong because the story is old. But they came out with an iMac or e-machine or something like that. And I just started using the internet. And I thought, when I looked at the machine, I went, that's a no-brainer. They're going to make a killing. And I phoned up Andy, and I'm like, dude, I'm thinking about buying Apple. Like, do you see what they're going to come out with? Like, it looks like a no-brainer. It's an you just plug it in, and it's like it was all built in one. There was no tower. Just a computer with no tower. You just get the internet. Something like that's how I remember it. And I'm like, I'm going to buy Apple. But I don't. I put the $5,000 in Nortel Networks. If I would have put the $5,000 in Apple today, well, I'd have 659,000 American, assuming they didn't sell. Yeah, I did the research. If I just put in $100, it's 13,000. Over 13,000 I would have made. Why am I talking about this? I don't know. Prepare yourself. Prepare yourself for what is going to possibly be one of the biggest crashes in history, and you may never get to see another one I might not get to see another one in my lifetime. And when the bottom hits, I hope I know where the bottom is. I want to cash in. Strong companies like Axon, Taser Company, strong company. They're not going anywhere. Their stock price went down to 82, over like half price the other day. It's back up to 100. But if Axon goes down to 20, you know what I mean? So I'm going to be looking for stuff like that. And I mean, I'm retired, so that stuff kind of, it interests me, and I'm not going to miss out. I think there's going to become a lot of millionaires and billionaires after this next recession. And you guys should, no, I'm not going to tell you what you should do. It is kind of scary, though, you think about it. Inflation, the cost. We got a cabbage from Walmart the other day. $7 for a cabbage. The price of gas, I got 2 boats. Like, it's going to be over $1,000 each a boat, I think, to fill up. It's insane. And some of the experts are saying that back in the 80s, 81, when interest rates was like over 20%, they're saying, really, you have to raise interest rates up to around 15% to even combat inflation. So they're not going to do that again, I don't think. But is that a, I don't know. So you don't do it. How long is inflation going to be around for? The printing of money, right? In Canada. You know, I said this to my family last year. I said, there's going to be bad things. Bad things happening. All this money that they're printing and all this CERB that they're giving away and shutting down businesses. And half my family, they thought I was an idiot. They told me that the economy is great and it's always going to be good. I don't think so. They didn't even believe me when I told them that interest rates were going to raise. I shouldn't talk about my family, though. I'm talking about, like, not my immediate family. Like my children, okay? I wasn't talking to my children about this. I know you guys don't want to hear about topics like this, but it's just stuff that I think about during the day. And another thing that I can't stop talking about is the war. Sorry, I was looking at the game. Don't turn it off. This is what I don't understand. And I don't know if you're worried. Maybe you're not even thinking about it. Russia puts the nukes on alert back in, like, I don't know, February? We do nothing. America does nothing. There's like 5 stages or something. They're at the lowest level. You would think if Russia puts their nukes on alert that they'd at least go to, I don't know, level 4 or level 3. Let them know that, hey, we mean business too. This is what worries me. Russia, Iran, Korea, China, they're all friends. We don't stand a chance if there's a World War III. No chance. We're done. You would think that maybe we should start making some weapons and focusing on nuclear weapons, building our arsenal, but we're not doing anything. Biden, he won't even talk to Putin. There's no negotiations. If I'm president, I'm going to wake up every day trying to contact Putin and saying, hey, man, is there anything we can do? Let's negotiate. What do you want? Come on, you got to bend here. I would spend, because it'd be my job, to protect the country. They're not even talking. He's not even talking to them. He ignores them, gives them another 40 billion Ukrainians, and long-range missiles. I think they're long-range. Do you not think that it's possible that we're already in World War III? And what kind of chance do we stand? Have you seen our leader? I say our leader, but I feel like Biden is my leader. You send all that money to Ukraine, and you send all those weapons, you're in World War III. And Putin, he can win the war tomorrow. He can win the war in an hour. This is just joking around right now. Do you actually think that other country, who we all our hearts go out to, stand a chance? Putin in 45 minutes. Putin in seconds can win this war. I don't know. I have people tell me, like, well, what are you supposed to do, Clint? Just stand around and not help them? I don't know. Would you be saying that if the nukes started firing into Canada and United States? And United States started firing nukes into Russia? What would you be saying then? Oh, why'd we do that? And would you be saying it if this war went on for 50 years, which it wouldn't, because Putin can end it tomorrow. But if it went on for 50 years, would you be saying that in 50 years? Or would you be saying, why did we get involved? I come from a guy with 2 children, okay, and a wife. And it worries me. And I know people have said it to me, well, you just can't sit back. Okay, then don't sit back. But you are. You are sitting back. You're not making the military bigger in Canada. We don't got America doesn't have the best military in the world anymore, guys. They're not even working on it. They are sitting back. Something very, very bad, I think, is about to happen. And I'm not saying it to worry you or scare you. But this guy, this crazy man in Russia, he gonna do something. It's gonna be something big. It's gonna be something serious. It might not be against America, but it's definitely gonna be against Ukraine. And then what, right? I don't know. How can you sit back, dude? Biden, how can you sit back? You see what's happening. How can I see what's happening? How can I see what's going to happen? You have to spend every minute of every day trying to make sure it doesn't happen. Putin knew. The moment Biden got elected, Putin's got 5 years. He's got 3 more years to do whatever he wants. War, it's already here. It's already here. We don't even know it. There's even people talking about a World War IV. We done. And then Russia and China are going to hammer it out. That's conspiracy theory, Clint. Is it? Is it, though? I just can't believe we're at a time where I'm actually thinking for the first time in my entire life that if there's a war, we lose. I've never ever thought that. I always thought we win. But no, we don't win against those powers. We don't. The person who strikes first wins. Action beats reaction. Every time. All the time. Hey, did you know that Ottawa is directing the RCMP to eliminate neck restraints, tear gas, and rubber bullets? Mark Mendes, I think his name's Mark, Mendocino says. I got a bunch of people that sent me this article. And I wasn't going to do a story about it. A story? But then an ERT member, I'm not going to name him, but an ERT member messaged me and said, "Can you believe they're doing this? We just stopped a guy with a rubber bullet the other day. Saved his life because of the rubber bullet." And I thought, well, maybe I should talk about it. Maybe I'll look into it. You know what the most amazing thing is, though? The title. What jumps out at you? Ottawa directing RCMP to eliminate neck restraints, tear gas, and rubber bullets. All less lethal options. They want to eliminate the less lethal options. Isn't that strange? That's weird. Don't you find that weird? Don't we want less lethal? Why didn't they just throw in taser too? And what's really gross is, why does Canada always copy America? I'm going to show you a clip. Let's just jump right into the clip from CBC, okay? Nice. Hope you enjoyed that. And I promised myself I'm not going to swear. I'm not going to swear this episode. I'm just going to say it. I'm not going to get worked up. I'm not going to freak out. I'm just going to, I don't know, just try to be intelligent and not look like, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like my parents say. You lack credibility when you do that stuff, when you drink and you swear there. So I'm not gonna do that. Let's just have hopefully I come up with some good points, and we'll just have a nice, we'll just talk about it. Okay, the video is called Ottawa will order RCMP to stop using neck restraints, tear gas, and rubber bullets. Here we go.
After 2 years of outrage over the death of George Floyd,
You see, Canada. I didn't even know I was going to do this, but Canada can't get over America. Oh, what's America doing? George Floyd. What does this have to do with George Floyd? And Black Lives Matter? What we're talking about George Floyd again? And Black Lives Matter? That's how CBC starts this. Okay. Sorry.
Public Safety Minister tells CBC News of George Floyd.
Okay, Public Safety Minister is about to talk, I think.
The Public Safety Minister tells CBC News Canada is responding. A promise to ban RCMP from using certain control techniques, tear gas, rubber bullets, and neck holds.
He promises it, guys.
We think that with a new and modernized set of policies around use of force by the RCMP, that it can serve as a role model for other law enforcement branches across the country.
Okay, what's amazing is I was like, who's this Mendocino guy? I recognize his name, and then I realized a year ago I did a video. He wanted to release the indigenous inmates from jail, from prison, because they had COVID. And so I did a video on it, and this guy is just a wingnut. And what is he said something that I wanted to respond to.
For other law enforcement branches across the
listen to this.
Forced by the RCMP, that it can serve as a role model for other law enforcement branches across the country.
Oh, this guy's such a dumb. He thinks by the RCMP listening to him that the other police forces, like Vancouver PD, Vic PD, they're going to follow suit. Yeah, good idea. No, they're not that stupid, dude. Yeah, they're gonna. Do you actually think they're gonna go? Yeah, well, let's get rid of the rubber bullets and tear gas and carotid control. Not on your life. Who's this guy?
This former police officer applauds banning neck holds.
Okay, did you just see that? Okay, he's a former cop, guys. They're gonna tell you his name in a second. I can't remember it. 28 years. They interviewed him. And what's he doing? Watch again.
Former police officer applauds banning neck.
He's walking down the street, talking on his phone. Does he not know that he's in an interview? This is so stupid. It is so made up. I don't even like how he walks.
This former police officer applauds banning neck holds.
You look like a stupid fucking twat walking down the street, talking on your phone. I already dislike him.
It is very dangerous. People can be injured. People can be killed.
What? It's very dangerous? People can be injured. People can be killed? He was not even a former RCMP cop. How many RCMP members have killed people with the carotid control? Yeah, people can be injured. Of course, policing is dangerous. How this guy would agree with that? He used to be a cop. It just boggles my mind. I don't get it. You know what? You know why? Because they called him up. CBC called him up. Hey. And then they got off the phone and went, hey, Tony, guess what? I got this former cop coming on to CBC. He's going to say they're very dangerous and bad. People can be killed and hurt. It only costs us $600. We hit it out of the park. That's what's going on there. George Browne, Carlton, he's a scholar, guys. Oh, he's a scholar, Tony. He's a scholar and a former cop. And we just sit back. We don't say anything about it. I really think like the population doesn't even think it's a big deal, but this is actually a big deal. It's carotid control. All my career, I had to learn the carotid control. I had to requalify for it. I think that's the word for it. A ton of times I had to do this. At least 3 times a year. Once every 3 years. And there was 3 types of carotid control they would teach us, you know. And we had to make sure that the Adam's apple was protected by the V in your arm. We know what we're doing. And this guy's saying, somebody can get hurt. Yeah, so? So would you rather me get hurt by not applying it? So I'm in a fight with the guy. They want to ban it. I'm in a fight with the guy. I'm restricted from giving somebody the carotid control. That's what they want to do. I'm not allowed to do it. I fear grievous bodily harm or death. And I know I can't. What's my next option? I'm shooting them. Like, these guys are dummies, man. These guys are complete morons, complete idiots. And this cop should know better. He used to be a cop. These politicians don't have a clue about anything. They don't understand policing. Imbeciles. Complete imbeciles. The decisions they make. On what basis? When have we hurt somebody? And who cares if we did? We're talking about the bad guy. And when did we kill somebody by using a neck restraint? Or how about a rubber bullet? Tear gas? I can't push back the crowd using tear gas because why? So if I can't push back the crowd with tear gas, I got to bash them over the head with a baton. Tear gas is to get the crowd away, make them run away. And if they're not going to, I'm going to keep on coming and bad things are going to happen.
It is very dangerous. People can be injured. People can be killed.
What are you talking about? Who are these people that are being killed with the carotid control? Because that's what we're talking about. Who's getting killed from that? How many MMA fighters have you seen being killed by using the carotid control?
The reason, it's a danger.
Officers aren't trained. People can be injured. People can be killed.
The reason, it's a danger.
Officers aren't trained to do this technique properly.
That is the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard. I was trained properly. It's ingrained in my mind. I know how to use the carotid control because they taught me so many times. What is he talking about? We're not trained. The RCMP. He doesn't know. How would he know? If RCMP member, well, he's a scholar, Clint. If you really think, so if they were trained better, can we keep it? Are we allowed to use it? Then train us more. Train us every year. Don't just throw it away. It's a great technique. All through depot. In ground fighting. That's what you wanted. I had my pit partner in a reverse carotid control. I don't know what that. Guillotine. I don't know what you call it. But it is one tool that you don't ever want to get rid of. And it's less lethal tool, guys. It allows you time. You choke them. You choke them unconscious. You got about 6 seconds before they wake up. And you got those 6 seconds to handcuff them. Why would you want to cause lives by getting rid of something that's so important, such an important tool for police? Idiots. And I said I wasn't going to swear.
Another former officer worries what alternatives are left.
If firearms become the only option, then it's reasonable to think that things might go very badly at times.
One anti-police advocate says these and other measures should only be a start.
Oh, here we go.
Progress has been made, but there definitely is work to do.
Oh, did you hear that, guys? There's more work to do. Progress has been made, but there's much more work to do, right? Don't they love saying that? Robin Browne. Much more work to do. And I'm going to get into him in a second because he wrote something down he said something that I'm going to talk about.
Has been made.
Remember this guy, guys. This guy. I got to watch what I say. Possibly future school shootings in Canada.
But there definitely is work to do, and it's the basically activists have to keep on pushing because
one area where
Pushing
some
what?
are pushing
Taibu Van 1 responding to dispatch.
is non-policing solutions. Already up and running in Toronto, an $11 million pilot
No,
project.
don't give a rat's ass. I'm not listening to that. I don't care.
That's the groundwork that has been laid. As the government says, change is coming to the RCMP.
And you damn right it is, because you know Brenda Lucky? She's going to go, okay, I agree with that. I guess we'll get rid of the neck restraints and the rubber bullets. I guarantee you. And really, I don't care about the rubber bullets. And I know the ERT member's not going to like me saying this. So you get rid of the rubber bullets. I guess we'll go to the next option, right? The more safer option for police. You want me to get rid of rubber bullets? Okay. Let's get rid of all less lethal then. And we'll just focus on a couple of the tools that are left. I mean, really, that's what it's come down to. Don't leave. I want you to hear this, okay? I want to read a couple of things. I know reading's boring, but don't leave. Other communities are finding new ways to respond to emergency calls in the wake of George Floyd's death. Really? Are they? New ways to respond to emergency calls? What new way? You get the call, you hit the gas. It's already starting stupid. 2 years after the murder of George Floyd spurred a movement against police brutality, the federal government plans to order the RCMP to stop the use of neck restraints. Tear gas and rubber bullets. 2 years after the murder of George Floyd, what does George Floyd have to do with the RCMP? The Canadian government says it will soon order the RCMP to ban the use of tear gas, bullets, neck restraints. It's not like we're putting people in a headlock. I hope you know that. And what if we did? Like you get into a fight with a guy? You imagine getting into a fight. Oh, I'm not allowed to carotid control you. I'm not allowed to wrap my arms around your neck. They'd rather give the bad guy an upper and put the police at risk. This is going to cause more deaths. But I'm just one guy saying it, right? Mark Mendocino will instruct the RCMP Commissioner Lucky to end the police force's use of controversial techniques. Have you ever thought in your mind that carotid control, rubber bullets, and tear gas was controversial? You probably haven't. And I'm wondering if they're thinking that because at the trucker convoy, a girl was hit with a canister of tear gas. She's right in front of them. And I'm wondering if they're like, well, we can't have that anymore. Could you imagine if that's where they're basing it on? Like, what are they basing this on? The RCMP, according to Mendocino, will work toward ending its use of these techniques by the end of the year. Man, I swear to God, Lucky. If you do this, like, oh, what is your legacy? Like, what have you done to the RCMP so far? We're all racist. You called all police racist. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. You did. And now you're going to get rid of things that help us survive and help the bad guy, the crazy person that we come in contact, survive. This is only going to lead to more death on both sides. The RCMP has been reviewing its use of neck restraints since Floyd's murder. Why? Why? What do you... Sometimes referred to as the carotid restraint, sleeper hold, or blood choke, it differs from restraint used by the Minneapolis police officer who killed Floyd. Yeah. Oh, God, man. It wasn't the drugs that was in his system. 3 times over the such and such when it came to fentanyl. I'm not going to get into it. I guess Chauvin killed him. Jury found him guilty. So it must be true, right? According to a briefing note obtained by CBC, the RCMP still allows its officers to place a knee on an individual's upper body in some instances. Oh my God. Are you serious? Where would you want it on his bum bum? You want the knee on the bum bum. Liberals. You should be concerned. Oh, this is Lucky talking about the carotid control. She calls it carotid restraint, I think. It's when something serious or death or bodily harm is going to happen, she said in 2020. She doesn't even know how to say it properly. Death or grievous bodily harm? No, it's serious or death or bodily harm is going to happen. Reacting to the news, Elaine Babineau, former cop, said he's not sure whether eliminating these control measures is the right move. Okay, dude, why can't you just come out and say it's the wrong move? Because you know it is. So don't beat around the bush, please. He said he wants to see the evidence on which the government is basing its decision. Good point. So do I. Mendocino says he's committed to reforming law enforcement in Canada, a position that clashes with calls from Black Lives Matter protesters for police services to be stripped of their funding or even abolished. Why would CBC even write that? Black Lives Matter, there's people that want funding. Police services to be stripped of their funding or even gone for good. They put that in there. Oh, it clashes with Black Lives Matter because they want police to be abolished. That's what they're saying. What? Why would they take a retard comment and put it in this article? This is how unintelligent CBC is. Why would you even comment on people that are one police abolitionists? So one guy who doesn't want any police said the movement has been successful in curbing the growth of policing and in some cases reducing its footprint in some communities. Because that's what you want, right? You don't want police in your communities? Robin Browne, a leader in Ottawa's black community, said activists have been successful in freezing police budgets. Good job. And eliminating the presence of police officers in school. Well, that's smart, isn't it? Good work, Robin Browne. Is this the same guy that said more work needs to be done? Yeah, let's get rid of police officers in school. So elementary school kids can be murdered. Good job, Robin. That's smart. That's intelligent. That are causing more death. And will cause more death in the future. Progress has been made, but there's definitely work to do. Eliminating. I'm talking to you parents right now. Do you really don't want police officers in all schools? How could you not want that? Of course you do. But a couple are complaining about it. Like this Robin Browne. These are important people. This Robin Browne's, he's a leader in Ottawa's black community. And they say these things. And then you see the results in the world. And we all say, at all school shootings, it's too bad police weren't inside of the school when it happened. And he wants to take police out of the school. Vancouver's already done it. I did a video on it. Their board has already said, no more cops in the school. Do you guys understand the relationship that police have with students when they're in the school? The students love them. You want a cop in the school, obviously. Didn't you just see what happened? I don't know, something like 22 people dead? Elementary school kids murdered? This guy is making school shootings more probable. And I don't give a rat's ass if you don't like what I'm saying, Robin. Go ahead and do whatever you have to do. But I can prove it. It's pretty easy. It's already been proven. You ought to be fucking... CBC, you're a fucking joke that you would interview this fucking loser. Anybody that agrees with Robin Browne, go fuck yourself. You're fucked. You're fucked in the head. Completely. My kids go to elementary school. I want cops in there. There should be a cop in every school. And don't tell me because we live in Canada we don't ever have to face this problem. Yeah, we do. We absolutely do. You know why? Because there's crazy people in this world. These people don't focus on the crazy people. They don't institutionalize the crazy people. So they're the ones walking around the street. They're the ones going into the schools. We don't focus on people's mental health. We release them back into the community. It's cheaper, apparently. We don't fix minds. They don't fix minds. They don't work on the real problem. And when police interact with them, the police become the enemy. It's the politicians are the enemy. They're not doing their job. Yeah, more work needs to be done, a lot more work. You guys aren't doing it. You never have. Is it working? No, it's not working. It hasn't worked. What you're doing doesn't work. He's talking to Lucky. Thank you for your hard work over the last 4 years. You think she works, dude? He's pleased that she's addressed systemic racism, including through the launch of the RCMP's first ever equity, diversity, and inclusion strategy and instituting mandatory training for all employees. What did that do? I'm just curious, what did that do? My central objective is ensuring the RCMP meets the needs of Canadians, addressing systemic racism, eliminating harassment and discrimination, and creating a culture of accountability, diversity, and inclusion. There's that thing again, right? You wouldn't believe how many times he uses the word indigenous in here, or indigenous in here, and addresses systemic racism. Because there's a problem with the systemic racism. Yeah, maybe there is a problem with harassment and discrimination. There is absolutely harassment in the RCMP. There's no doubt about that. But stop saying systemic racism. It's, oh man. Prohibiting the use of neck restraints in any circumstances and the use of tear gas or rubber bullets for crowd control, alongside developing national standards for the use of force. So it sounds like they just want to eliminate rubber bullets for crowd control. I don't know. They just want to eliminate rubber bullets, obviously. And what are you going to do? You're working a mission. Could you imagine? You'd have to call up Abby PD. Can you come out? We need some rubber bullets. Can you send a cop and help us out with your rubber bullet gun? Can you imagine? Because they're not going to Abbotsford's not going to eliminate it. Conducting an external review of de-escalation training to make sure it results in the safest possible outcomes for officer and Canadians. Fuck off. Yeah. They love using the word de-escalation. Police are pros with de-escalation. Trust me. Will you please stop saying the word de-escalation? Can you get it out of your vocabulary? Same with the systemic racism. Can you just stop talking about this stuff? There's no issue with it. He wants to improve recruitment at all levels to better reflect communities it serves, in particularly Indigenous and Black communities, and recruiting more members with the skills necessary to combat sophisticated crimes. Lots here, guys. He wants the RCMP to improve recruitment. He wants more Indigenous and Black. Why the hell? You called them racist. Why the hell would an Indigenous person want to become a police officer? You called all police racist. Brenda Lucki called all police. Why would they want to join? Who in their right Indigenous mind would want to become a police officer? Become a murderous, racist, rapist? Isn't it something? They destroy the RCMP using their banter, using their words, and then they shit on the RCMP because they're not recruiting enough people. Of course the RCMP can't recruit enough people. You've turned everybody off from wanting to become a police officer. You did this. The commissioner of the RCMP did it. You guys screwed yourself. You fucked us. What balls to destroy the RCMP, basically, and then say, hey, you got to get out there and start recruiting. You got to hire more people, including, non-whites. It's like the lowest it's ever been. No Indigenous peoples want to become a cop. They just don't want to become a cop, okay? It's like 4 or 5% who apply or something weird. Something like that. You've ruined it for them. And he wants to recruit more members with the skills necessary to combat sophisticated crimes. Good luck. What are you talking about, dude? We can't even recruit anybody with a heartbeat. You actually think you're going to recruit people with sophisticated minds? You take what you get. We got to get rid of the RCMP test just so we can hire more people. And we got to get rid of the lie detector test just so we can hire more people. We don't even care that you lie. We don't care if you're liars or what you've done in your life. You got a heartbeat, you're in. And that's probably a good reason. Lucky's already read this. So Lucky's like, "Ooh, we better get rid of the RCMP test. We better get rid of the lie detector test. We better lower our standards to an all-time low and fill up the RCMP with non-sophisticated people in order to meet his demands." Their demands. Advance LGBTQ2 inclusion by ensuring actions and reviews of all... Oh, go away. Whatever. I recognize that there remains more to do to address the needs of contract partners and issues of domestic and national security. You know what, guys? I hope you subscribe to this channel because... And I wasn't going to swear. But the more of you who subscribe, the more I say fuck you. And it kind of feels good, to be honest. It ruins my video when I swear. But the more subscribers I have, I won't say it. I won't say it. That big thing in the article really wasn't about the rubber bullets. It was about Robin Browne. Because we just had something horrific happen in America at an elementary school. And this guy wants you to believe that it's bad to have a police officer inside a school. That's why I read this article. I don't give a rat's ass about a rubber bullet. I don't even think we should use them. Screw it. But don't take away my carotid control. That might save my life. You can't do that. That's not allowed. The tear gas? You know what? We won't even bother going to a protest or a riot. I'm shocked that he wants to take away, that they want to take away a majority of the less lethal options. This doofus has no right. You're messing with police duties. That's not your job, asshole. We tell you, you don't tell us how to police. Cops are not the problem. The action of one cop doesn't mean all. It's a war on law enforcement. These people are going to make you safe? Release inmates? No more rubber bullets? Why don't you listen to the real experts? The people that do it 24/7, the people that police. Having a problem with police in school? Those are the real dangerous issues, aren't they? Ever ask yourself who really is complaining? You ever ask yourself that? Do you know? It's the criminal who complains. The ones in jail. The ones that say abolish the police. Idiots. Ludicrous. It's crazy people. They are insane, and they listen to it. You know, I sit here and I think, you know, these issues are just so small compared to what's going on in Ukraine. You know, what's going on, you know, we got a World War III that may break out. And here I am, like I was actually thinking, like, do I continue my podcast with what's going on in the world? And I might look like a nut for saying that. I might look like a nut for being concerned. I just don't think enough people are concerned. And maybe they're... I know my wife isn't. She's not even thinking about it. She's not thinking about a war. She doesn't even know what's going on in Russia. Really. And I don't blame her, because that's the way I was when I was working. She works as a nurse. She works her ass off. Her fucking ass off. Monday to Friday and sometimes weekends. Because there's not enough nurses. There's no nurses. Bonnie Henry told all the nurses, if you don't get vaccinated, you're out. You got to go. So they don't have enough nurses. And so I don't blame her that she doesn't keep up with it. I never kept up with anything when I was a police officer. I wouldn't even be looking at the war right now. I wouldn't even know what was going on. And I wouldn't be worried about a World War III. I don't know what my point was there. These things are so little, really, I guess. When you think about what could happen in the world and what is happening in the world. But what really ticks me off is I'm forced to hear about what happens at an elementary school and so many lives, so many parents without children now. And then you have, they come, like the day later, they come up with this article. CBC. And they document what Robin Browne says. That there shouldn't be police officers in school. Who in their right mind would agree with that? And we shouldn't even be, the CBC shouldn't allow that. You shouldn't be allowed to take a retard comment and document it and then fill that fill that idea to other people. Because guaranteed people agree. They've seen that video and they agreed with Robin Browne. Yeah, it's bad to have cops in schools. Good point, Robin. A new government cannot come fast enough. I mean, we're what, three years away. Let's take some calls, okay? Let's take a couple of calls. I'm going to edit this, but so far it's been an hour and a half. I know, I'm going to go up there. You better not be smoking down. You smoking down there? No? Stinks.
Hey, Clint. It's Jared, or the Buffalo Sabres guy. You see the comments. Saw on the Facebook group today of the RCMP applicants that the polygraph has now been removed from the process. I was just wondering what your thoughts were on that, because I'm pretty sure it wasn't around when you went through.
You're right. It wasn't around when I went through, thank God. And what are my thoughts about it? I'm fine with it. I got no problem with it. One of my best friends, who's no longer around, died of colon cancer, once told me, I'm going to tell you something, because he had to take the polygraph. And he said, I'm not going to say it. All I'm going to say is, you can beat the polygraph, okay? I'm just telling you, I guess he beat the polygraph somehow. I don't know. But I don't know, dude. I'm fine with no polygraph.
For me, it's kind of funny. I would have liked not to have done the polygraph during my process, because I unfortunately had to do two, since the reviewer did not think I passed the first one when I was told by the first polygraph guy that I did pass. So it was a very stressful part of the process, and I kind of agree in the sense of taking it out, because I wonder, it must have not been worth it for them, because if I had a stroke or someone just walked in my hips. I just wonder how many people were actually eliminated at that stage of the process. It must have been not that many.
I think it was quite a few. I think quite a few people were eliminated at that process. I think it's the interview is so long. The test is short, but the interview is so long. Like when I took my interview interrogation course, it was from a polygrapher. And the interview that they do is huge. It's hours. It can be hours. And then boom, and they hook you up with a polygraph, that's short. But they would have people during the interview, during the interrogation, they would have people commit to the crime. So I don't disagree with their interview. I don't disagree with the polygraph, but I'm fine with it gone.
Because I feel like through the RMAQ and I'm drawing a blank on the name of the actual interview, you can learn a lot about an applicant, because I know mine were about 3 to 4 hours each.
Yeah.
And you can't hide and you can't lie that long about your life. Mm-hmm. So I feel like if you have competent interviewers, you can learn a lot about a person, and you do not need the polygraph.
Good point.
Let me know your thoughts. It's kind of interesting.
That's my thoughts.
Have a good one.
Thanks for calling, dude.
Hey, Clint. I've been watching for, I guess, almost like a year now. As you know, I've been in my final year for criminology. I actually graduated this year, and I was hoping to go into the RCMP. But, I did my hearing test and vision test. I did perfect on the hearing test, no hearing loss. And then, came the vision test. I managed to pass everything on the vision test except for the uncorrected standards, as I, wear glasses, right?
Yeah.
So corrected, it's 20/20 vision, but then uncorrected, I don't meet the standards for the RCMP.
Shitty.
So, I plan on getting LASIK in, maybe a few months, but I was wondering, should I even bother applying to the RCMP? Or, because I don't meet these standards, right? So I kind of don't want to get, the 6-month deferral. So should I just get LASIK and then apply? And, I've always also was wondering...
Hold on. Yes, get LASIK, then apply. Absolutely.
For the RCMP, they ask you for, your 5 close friends, right? My friends have just been bugging me hey, dude, you know what they're going to ask, what they're going to look into. I was just wondering if you have any insight on what, the RCMP actually does with the info. What do they call, their workplace and whatnot? But, yeah, that's about it. Just, I love your content. And, thanks. Bye.
Dude,
good one.
Dude, I'm going to do an episode on the background check, but I couldn't believe it. They sat down and sat with 5 of my friends. And then they went to every place that I worked at. And they talked to my bosses, even places that I got fired from. They even talked to my parents, knocked on my parents' door. Every place that I lived at, I don't think I said that right. Sorry, I might have slipped up. But every place I worked at, every place I lived at, I'm sorry, I got the Blue Jays game on the background, and I got to shut that off. They would go to every place that I lived at, knock on that door, and then knock on the neighbor's door. So let me do an episode on that in the future. Thanks for your call, dude. Good job. You finished your criminology. That's awesome. And just get your eyes fixed for sure. And then apply.
Hi, John. Just wanted to remain anonymous and
Okay, this girl wanted to remain anonymous. We kind of went back and forth for a bit. I answered her question. She took an edible last year and wanted to know if that was going to hurt her chances, and I said, no, it's not. Not allowed to play it. She kind of wanted me to, I think. She said, I don't like the sound of my voice, so don't. And you know what? I like it when girls call because I know so few watch. Thanks for calling, girl. Anonymous girl.
Hey, Clint. I've been watching for a very long time, and I love your videos, and I enjoy them very much. I was wondering if you can provide some of the questions that will be asked in the interview process. I know you covered a lot of it, but I just wanted some questions that are going to come up so I can practice on answering them. Thank you. Love you, man.
Oh, that's nice. I love you, man. I didn't remember hearing that when I first heard that. What a great thing to say to somebody. You know what? If I met you, I'd probably love you too. And to answer your question, no, I can't. Keep watching, though. I might give you some advice.
Jaws. Brenda Lucky, Commissioner's mandate letter came out today.
Just read it.
From Marco Mendocino.
Oh, yeah.
Thought you might be interested.
Oh, he's such a wingnut. He looks like a wingnut. Can you believe these people are in power? Can you believe they're in power? Oh. No policing background. And they think they could be the best cop ever. And they come up with these decisions that ultimately hurt Canada, hurt police officers, and hurt bad guys. And the mentally ill. And you know what? I'm not happy with how I presented. I did. This was a whole podcast about it. I'm not happy how I presented it. I felt like I was a little off. Squeaky squeak. But, yeah.
Good afternoon, Mr. Jaws. I've just got a couple of questions. As a guy that's hopefully going to join the RCMP in the next few years, we're aspiring to join anyway. I was going to ask some questions about like your social life as an RCMP member.
Fucking sucks. You hang out with other cops. Cops that you don't even want at your party. Like, these are the people that you have to hang out with, and they're like, I'm not going to drink tonight. I don't drink. Oh, God. It's so weird because my first 5 years, they were all my best friends. I think as you go up the ladder, being a cop, being an RCMP officer, it gets worse for you. When I was in Duncan, all my, like 3 or 4 of them were in my wedding party. They were all my best friends. And then as you get higher up, people look at you differently. And you just don't plain want to hang out with them. And so many cops are so boring. They're so boring. And you're sitting there every shift, 2 day shifts, 2 night shifts. And you're watching them, I don't know, you're watching them eat Timbits. Okay, have you ever seen a police officer eat a Timbit? After a while, it gets disgusting. And then swing shift, you go out for drinks with them, and you got nothing to really say. Because all you've been doing is talking and conversing and communicating. Then it's your day off, and you don't hang out with civilians. Even though I did. That's who I hung out with, really. Like when I was over in Mission. But every now and then, as a watch, we'd get together, and I don't know. There were so many shitty times, but there were a couple of good times. I don't know if I'm answering your question all that well. It depends on who you are, who you want to be. Don't isolate yourself from civilian people. You want them in your life. Believe me. Try not to change too much, where you're at the point where you can't even communicate with civilians. Civilians will keep you grounded. A lot of police officers will drive you nuts. They'll drive you insane. So boring. I always said, like, could you imagine having that guy at our party? Like, I wasn't prepared for this question. I probably should have left it. Probably shouldn't have commented on it, but I always gravitated towards less serious people, more civilian type people, more real people. Like, nothing worse than sitting around. You go out with a group of cops and they want to talk about the pursuit they were just in. Like, there's nothing worse than hearing a boring story about a pursuit. I don't want to hear about your pursuit. I had a great time in Duncan. I actually had a pretty good time socially in Langley. Sat Dollywall. He used to come over. We were pretty good friends. Like he was a normal dude. Talk normal, act normal. Try to find people that are more civilian than cop. Oh, God. Taylor Matthews. Remember hanging out with him and Dennis Bell. I can't remember his last name. I think that's what it was. But they were good people. They were real people where you can actually like have a conversation. But there's so few. Like almost non-existent.
I have a buddy. His dad is the chief superintendent he's a conservation officer, the chief superintendent. And he says that a lot of law enforcement guys have troubles with, making friends or whatever. Do you guys just sort of stick in the law enforcement group?
Unfortunately, yes. Me and the wife we did until... You know what was great? I relied on the wife to make civilian friends. And then she'd bring them over and then I'd make friends with them. That was the great part.
Office RCMP members making friends with COs and stuff like that and vice versa. And then also, just a question on the RCMP's future. I see that there's a lot of provinces that want to make their own independent police, like Alberta's doing that. Surrey just made their own police department.
Surrey? I don't know. Well, they're not there yet. Who knows what's going to happen with Surrey?
Does that mean that the RCMP is dying, they're moving away, or there's such a big need and a lack of officers that they have to move in that direction?
No, well, the RCMP is dying and moving away because the politicians are killing it. And we just got to put a stop to it.
Yeah, I just want to hear your thoughts on that. Well, thank you very much.
That's too big of a topic to cover right now, but thanks for your call, dude.
Hey, Clint, I was just listening to your YouTube channel on the overrepresentation of Indigenous inmates.
Okay. Yeah, see, my titles sometimes scare myself.
As they call them now, clients, no longer inmates. They're clients.
Yeah.
Anyways, I worked at the castle on Vancouver Island for a number of years, and the ratio to Indigenous inmates to non-Indigenous was not very high. The highest population for the Indigenous inmates were all in protective custody for, as you're aware of, the numerous different types of charges they're brought in on for that reason. And one thing that just blows me away is that they complain about this, but yet they build a brand new correctional facility in Oliver here in BC on Indigenous land.
Good point.
But yet they don't want them in custody. Now, how ironic is that?
Yeah, that is.
Anyways, food for thought.
Yeah.
I don't get it. Why would they build a prison on native land? Anyways, talk to you later, man. Good show. Love it.
Thanks, dude. Everything's horse shit, isn't it? It's all BS, guys. Everything's BS.
Hey, Clint. My name's Grayson. I'm based out of Winnipeg, Manitoba, and I've been a big fan of your YouTube videos for a while. I'm just calling about your last video. I think it was the one of you and Duncan, how you arrested, I think, majority of Indigenous people, or something like that, and claimed there was systemic racism. I'm a person of color. I'm black. Not that that should matter or anything like that, but I think when it comes down to systemic racism and policing, it's very not black and white. Me, myself, as a black person in Canada, I'm striving to become a cop, either with the Winnipeg Police or the RCMP, and I'm a current member with the...
I love it when black people call, because sometimes I say things, and I feel like, well, a lot of times it probably doesn't come out right, but I feel like I'm offending certain groups. Even though I love indigenous people and black people, when I comment on it, I feel alone, and I feel like it makes me look bad, and they're not going to like me. Do you know what I mean? but I'm just speaking my truth. I got nothing against any group. I love all groups. I love all people. I wish more black people were my friend, but I don't have any around here. And thanks for calling. We actually communicated back and forth, and you told me your story. And maybe I should just summarize it. But you felt like this kid was 9 years old. Okay, he's walking down the street, and the police officer stops him. I'll just let him say it.
Auxiliary cadets. When I think of systemic racism, I think it's very hard to put a label on. But I know for me, I've faced racism from the police. For example, I've been stopped just by walking home. The officer stopped me, asked where I was going. I said, he said I fit a description when I was only like 9 years old. Yeah.
So he's 9 years old. The officer stopped him because they were looking. I don't know why the officer stopped him. I'm just assuming. Follows him home and says, you better not have done it because we were looking for a certain somebody that you fit the description at. And I said, I'll just let him say it. Sorry, guys.
I lived in a pretty wealthy area. He followed me home, and I was walking up the steps. He then called out and said, if I'm lying, you'll come and get me. I think
if I'm lying, I'm going to come and get you.
That's more the bigger issue when it comes to police and minorities and why there's such a big disturbance.
So this fella, who was 9 years old, he feels that this cop stopped him based on the color of his skin. And then I communicated with him. I said, maybe it's possible that they were looking for a suspect in the area. And then I said, maybe it's possible he was racist. I think I said something like that. If I didn't, I'm saying it now. You're right. Maybe the cop was racist. I don't know. All I can tell you is there was a lot of times when I was driving out and about and driving around looking for a suspect with a new call that just came in. I'd stop people that fit the description. They couldn't leave until I identified them and I ruled them out as a suspect. That happens. It's possible that you met with a racist police officer. But what breaks my heart is that you're 9 years old. And when you went home, he said, if you're lying, I'm going to come get you. And that breaks my heart because I have 2 kids. I got an 8-year-old daughter. And I couldn't imagine a police officer talking to my 8-year-old daughter like that. And if a cop ever did, I'd lose it. I mean, I know I would snap. So I don't like that the police officer talked to a 9-year-old like that.
This is a big, separation in classes. Because some people have those bad interactions.
And I also said to him, I couldn't understand a lot what you were talking, what you're saying, because it's not coming across good enough.
This is a big, separation in classes. Because some people have those bad interactions. And I'm not sure if you've ever been stopped by the police and been kind of harassed in that way. But probably the majority of people who look like me have been. But the difference for me was that in high school, I ran into my high school resource officer. And he actually just passed by me and said, hey. And I told him, hey, I don't like pigs. And we sat down and we talked and he explained policing and all the things they do. And that man kind of showed me that not all cops are like that one cop I interact with. And all cops are their own people. And, we got to do an extremely brave and serious job, And then for me, he changed my whole perception on policing. And he made me want to become the cop where you're able to bridge the gaps between people of color and the police, because I think it's been blown way off course when it comes to Black Lives Matter, which is ridiculous, and all cops are bad, which is ridiculous, So I want to become a police officer where we bridge the gap, where we stop seeing such hate towards the police. But I also do understand why some people do feel that way. It's pretty disgusting, though, how we see such slant against police officers when they are doing their job. Just a little thing I wanted to say, get off my chest a little bit, but you can air if you want, don't have to air it. I thought it'd be a good topic. You can call me back, or you can just text me back. The number is...
Thanks, dude. Thanks for calling. You seem like a solid guy, and I don't know, you articulated yourself well there. Like you're intelligent. You can tell you got education. And not that you need education, but you can just tell you're intelligent. And I don't know what happened there. Maybe you came in contact with a racist cop. I don't think you did. I think you came in contact with an a-hole. Absolutely. But there's a good chance that they were looking Cops just don't want to drive down the street and ask a 9-year-old for no reason. Like, okay, maybe, like, hey. It just doesn't make sense to me that the cop would do that. But, you know, hey, I've worked with weirdo cops. I have. High strung, high power, like they love power. I've met them, I've seen them. And yeah, there's some weird cops out there. So who knows? But thanks for calling. Call back. Thank you for being black.
Jaws. You can't use that last message.
Okay. You know what? I could go on forever. I've been getting so many calls lately, and I love it, guys. I love it when you call me. I should have prepared better for the calls today, but I went on for so long with the other stuff. 604-330-2512. Keep on calling. It's the only reason I do episodes. Like, you know, my episodes, I talk about a lot of things. But when it comes to the episodes, the only reason I do an episode and I make them longer is from your telephone calls. That's how I run my YouTube channel. And yeah, awesome. Awesome. I love hearing from you. And I'm sorry that, I don't know, the article, it's just another slap. We're getting slapped around, aren't we? The police? They won't stop slapping. How do you slap back? How do you do it? We need a new prime minister. Subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching. ClintonJaws.com. Bye-bye.
What's that?